And we begin tonight with breaking news. A search for shooting suspects has drawn a massive police response to southeast Portland tonight. This area you see in red on the map is the search perimeter. It stretches from 108th out to 122nd near Powell Boulevard. Our Alma McCarty is on the scene where we just got an update from police. Alma, take us through what's happening there.
Well, Laurel, it is a very active scene out here tonight, spanning multiple locations. As you just noted, a lot of traffic in the area is being rerouted around all of the crime scene tape. That is up as investigators continue to search and track down, or try to track down, multiple suspects in a shooting investigation. They tell us it started around 7 p.m. in the area of Southeast Powell and 112th. Once they got to that scene, they found one man dead and another person injured. Now, they took that victim, the one with injuries, to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries by ambulance. After that shooting, the suspects left the scene, and officers actually found them at 120th and Powell, but they ran off into the neighborhood. It was at that time that numerous officers responded to set up a perimeter, calling in CERT and crisis negotiation teams. The suspects are believed to be armed. However, PPB does not know at this time just how many suspects there are. And at this time, there's no description of them, but police want neighbors to be on the lookout.
There's a lot of people that live here, a lot of people that work here, and if they're seeing something suspicious, somebody looks like they're hiding, somebody looks like maybe they're really sweaty and nervous, if it's just something doesn't look right, we sure would appreciate a call, because that might be the person we're looking for.
Now, public safety tonight is obviously a huge concern. Police have closed off a wide area from Southeast 122nd from Division to Bush. Powell is closed from 122nd to 108th, and it's taking quite a number of officers, many officers, to actually contain this area as they methodically search for those suspects. Public information officer even noting to us that they've had to call in officers from every precinct, and the people who are already on the clock have had to stay for overtime, and they've actually called in some officers in early. Police are asking anybody in this area to shelter in place, although earlier tonight they did send an alert out to notify folks to stay where they are. Again, if anyone has any information about this, they are encouraged to contact police. Laurel?
Alma McCarty live in Southeast Portland. Thank you, Alma, and we will keep following the situation for you. You can look for updates on KGW.com and KGW News at sunrise tomorrow morning. A group trying to put an end to gun violence in Portland has now gathered enough signatures to get stricter gun control measures on the ballot this November. Today, the Lift Every Voice Oregon group made their way to Salem to deliver those signatures to the Secretary of State's office. Here's Christelle Kumwe.
At Northeast Portland's Augustana Lutheran Church Friday,
lift every voice and sing.
A group made up of students and faith leaders,
Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Jew, Sikh, Native American spiritual leaders, Christians, and people of just goodwill
lifted their voices with a message.
Out of that grief, it's been turned into action in Oregon.
Reverend Mark Knutson is talking about action against gun violence. He and others with Lift Every Voice Oregon worked to get Initiative Petition 17 on the November ballot. IP 17 calls for permits and thorough background checks for all gun purchases, while banning large-capacity magazines.
All our faith traditions say love is at the core, and when love is at the core, it's a verb, it's active, my wife likes to say. So we have to take action when our neighbors are bleeding and children are being shot in their schools.
The group needed to secure 112,000 signatures to qualify for the November ballot.
And this is a day of hope, profound hope.
On Friday, he announced they surpassed that goal, gathering over 160,000 signatures.
We can take action in this country, in this democracy, and change the way things are. We don't have to wait. We can do it ourselves as citizens.
The group boarded a school bus Friday from Portland to Salem with boxes on hand filled with signature sheets. The plan, deliver them to the Secretary of State's office.
We did it!
They rallied across the Capitol and marched arm in arm for the delivery.
I know all of these people really well. I consider them good friends, and together I'm really proud of what we've accomplished, and so today is the time to celebrate that.
Students, faith leaders, and community members united to turn anger into action.
So don't underestimate the basements of a synagogue, a temple, a church, a longhouse, because that's where movements begin, where people are not afraid and they step out in faith and something happens.
The state will check the signatures to make sure they are valid. The deadline for that work is August 7th, but it may be done sooner. In Salem, Christelle Kumwe, KGW News.
Now let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The Democratic Party of Japan has called the assassination of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe an act of terrorism. We brought you this story as breaking news last night here at 11. Abe was shot at a campaign event in Japan. Police say the shooter is a 41-year-old unemployed and politically disgruntled man who they believe used a crude homemade gun in the shooting. They also found similar weapons when they raided his home. Abe was Japan's longest-serving prime minister. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has made an arrest in a serious hit-and-run from last night. It happened on Southwest Barnes Road near Providence St. Vincent Hospital. Deputies say a 72-year-old woman was hit while crossing the street after visiting her husband in the hospital. She is now in critical condition. The suspected driver, 34-year-old Tyler Fetterhoff, is facing multiple charges. Deputies say he ran a red light and hit the victim while she was in the crosswalk. U.S. Marshals arrested a fugitive at an Oregon City hotel this morning. He has been identified as 31-year-old Jeremiah Wakefield. This happened at the Clackamas Inn and Suites. We're told Wakefield jumped out of a second-floor window. He was then chased down and arrested. He had multiple felony warrants, including escape from the Washington State Department of Corrections. New tonight, a warning from state health leaders. OHA reports fentanyl overdoses are higher than ever as the drug spreads throughout communities. Between 2019 and 2021, state health leaders say fentanyl overdose deaths jumped more than 600%. And this has OHA encouraging people to learn how to use naloxone, sometimes known by the brand name Narcan, which can rapidly reverse an overdose. We talked to a doctor who believes adding access to naloxone can help prevent those overdose rates from going even higher.
We are seeing some trends, that are quite disturbing in terms of many folks who suffer fatal overdoses don't have usage of Narcan or naloxone. The widespread nature of this and how fentanyl's really permeated our communities, the need for naloxone is overwhelming.
OHA said it's providing online resources like this map that specifically lists the Oregon pharmacies distributing Narcan. For more information, head to the OHA website. And now to the latest on monkeypox, where today there is some good news for a drug treatment that's shown to be effective in treating the disease. Tecovirimat, or TPOXX, has just been approved in the United Kingdom. Right now in the U.S., it's only been approved to treat smallpox, but has been given to a limited number of monkeypox patients. SIGA Technologies makes the drug, and it has research facilities in Corvallis. We interviewed the company's chief scientific officer.
What our drug does is it traps the virus so it can't get out of the cell. Pox viruses have a life cycle where they go in, they make more viruses, but then they need another membrane to get out of the cell and spread the infection with an individual or between individuals. And what our drug does is it targets a protein that prevents the virus from getting that second membrane. So basically it traps it inside the infected cell and stops the infection almost immediately.
Right now, the vaccine approved for monkeypox in the U.S. is the 2-dose Jynneos vaccine. Washington health officials just announced the state is getting about 400 courses of that vaccine. The Statesman Journal reports Oregon has about 100 courses. Right now, there are only 6 confirmed cases in Oregon and 10 in Washington.